Sorry about that. I had a personal issue to deal with in regards to my step family. I'm not going to tell you the personal issue, but there's a personal issue going on with my step family. I had to help out around the house. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I prefer to keep it personal, but sorry I had to cut the camera off. But I'm going to continue where I left off here. Obviously, me and my wife. I told you because me and my wife are because when I'm king. Obviously, the doors are now open for me. Me and my wife can start. I can easily start multiple businesses and make even more money from it. Make even more money. That's how you know I'm not just about the money, man. As I don't, because I know the moment I can easily start a bunch of businesses. I can easily have my own. I can easily make a Zanus game. I can do stand-up comedy on the side. I can start my own magazine line and hire models to take pictures to be featured in my pictures. I can pay those models with millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So if I started my own, just like for Sky Source, all the Hollywood actors are going to be in my database. If me and my wife started our own modeling company, all the top models around the world would be in my database. Obviously, the male and female ones. Kendall Jenner would love to work for my company. Obviously, if I start my, she'd be like, Ivan, I just want to work for you instead of working in Hollywood. Obviously, and I'd be willing to pay her millions of dollars too. Obviously, but I told you I'm not interested in starting a bunch of businesses. As the moment I start a bunch of businesses, it becomes crazy, and I no longer have tunnel vision. Because now, while me and my wife are working on a movie, we also have to focus on what's going on with the modeling company. We also have to focus on what's going on with the stand-up comedy, obviously. I can easily start my own restaurant chain. I can easily have my own Sky Source restaurant chain where I serve food and all that stuff around the world. But I know if I do that, it's going to become what? It's me and my wife are no longer are going to lose tunnel vision. It becomes crazy. And restaurants is asset based. There's a high chance you can lose money, obviously. If I start my own restaurant chain, everyone around the world would go to my restaurant, obviously. There's a high chance you can lose money, and it's also asset based, and you have a lot of overhead costs, a lot of employees. It becomes crazy. And I'm not a fan of asset based business. I'm not a fan of real estate. I'm not a fan of restaurants. I'm not a fan of. I'm a fan of art, obviously, like modeling, games. You know what I'm saying? Games, stand-up comedy. That stuff I'm a fan of. I told you if I put my money into all these businesses, me and my wife would no longer have tunnel vision because we no longer have focus. So even though me and my wife will be doing movies, we won't have tunnel vision anymore because we now have to focus on all these businesses. It becomes crazy, man. You have to hire all these CEOs to run your companies. It becomes crazy. Hence why I only want to start Sky Source. As the money that I'm making for Sky Source is more than enough, I'm not going to invest my money in all these businesses. I can easily invest my money in a bunch of businesses. I can easily have my own Sky Source park. You know how Disney has their own parks? I can easily put money and have my own Sky Source parks, my own Sky Source restaurants. I can even have my own Sky Source hotel. I can easily do all that. Start my own modeling company. But I told you, the moment you have a bunch of business, it becomes crazy and you become stressed. It becomes so crazy. You become so crazy that you'll become stressed out and you will no longer have tunnel vision in your one business. I know if I start a bunch of businesses, me and my wife will no longer have tunnel vision in our one business. Obviously. Hence why I'm going to tell VJ, look, VJ, I don't want to start a bunch of businesses. I only want to start Sky Source. That's more than enough. Me and you are going to make billions of dollars off the movies. That's more than enough. We film one movie. We work on a project for a movie. We film one movie. We take our nice 8 months off. We do our charity. Because after every movie, I'm gonna do charity, obviously. And then we start our next movie. That way, everything is simple, man. As I'm not a fan of that crazy stuff. Hence why, yeah, Ivan, you're very simple minded. Yeah, man, I'm very simple minded. There's a reason why I only want to hire 7 people for my company, as I'm not a fan of that crazy stuff where you have like 100 people, 30 people work for your company. No, man. I want to keep my company simple. Hence why I only want to hire what? I only want to hire 7 people, obviously. And worst comes to worst, if the 17 needs help, I'll hire 2 assistants to help them. So I might perhaps have 19, perhaps. If the 17 really, if when I start work of this, if I find out that the 17 is really stressed out and need help, which I highly doubt they will because I'm putting money into a super advanced system. Because I'm putting money into a super advanced system, because I'm putting money into a super advanced system, 7 people is more than enough. But if I find out that the 17 needs a little bit of help, I'll hire 2 assistants to help them, obviously. I can hire one assistant secretary to help the 2 secretaries. The secretaries will be the boss over the assistant, obviously. Pay that assistant a nice $300,000 a year, $250,000 a year, $300,000 a year, whatever it is. And if I hired the assistant, I'll be mandatory. You have to live in Vancouver too, obviously. As if you're making $300,000 a year, you can live a decent life in Vancouver. Vancouver's a very expensive city to live in, but if you're making $250,000, I'll pay the assistant a nice like $250,000 a year, and I'll hire one assistant to help out the other five. If they really, really need help. If I see that they really, really need help, I'll hire 2 assistants to help them, and I'll have a 9 team, obviously. But I guarantee you that won't happen, and 7 people is more than enough, obviously. As long as you put money into super advanced system for the secretaries, their callbacks, you have an advanced system for their callbacks, all that stuff. Advanced system for when they make the business calls, they just speak. Best company for cameras, best company for clothing, best company for weapons, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? As long as you have, and I'll also have the 7 team when they make their calls, they have the headphone speakers. I'm not gonna have them make calls on the phone like that. No, I'll have them have speakers, and every time they make call, they can just touch the screen. It calls, and it hangs up, and they hang up, and everything's easy for them. Everything's super advanced, so that way they're not stressed out. Especially for the secretaries. The secretaries are going to be getting hundreds of calls from agents, Hollywood agents. If you don't want them to be stressed out, you need to put money into a super advanced system for them, obviously. With 2 secretaries is more than enough, and 5 people is more than enough to make the business calls, obviously. 5 people is more than enough, obviously. And there's a good chance there'll be some assistants who will help them in Switzerland. I might have a few assistants in Switzerland. I'll hire two producers to help them in Switzerland for the 3rd year. Pay those guys a nice couple $100,000 to help them if you want to, obviously. Right. I just ordered my shawarma, so there's a good chance when I make this video, when I get the notification that the Uber driver is on the way to my house, I'm gonna have to shut the camera off. I'll get my shawarma and I'll come back and continue the video. Obviously, I have about 30 some minutes left on my phone. Obviously, I have about 35 minutes on the phone, so I'll babble on for a good 10 more minutes, and then after 10 minutes, I will start reading Lord of the Rings. Obviously, so I told you, me and my wife could easily start multiple businesses, obviously. But I told you, the moment me and my wife start multiple businesses, it becomes crazy, and me and my wife will no longer. Remember how he said in my hair design video, how it's good to stick to one business, that way you have tunnel vision. It's good to stick to one, instead of investing your money in a bunch of businesses. Stick to growing your one business, that way you have tunnel vision and you're not stressed out. As the moment you invest your money in a bunch of businesses, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we can make more money, but it becomes crazy. It becomes crazy, and you're now very stressed out because you have so many businesses that you have to focus on. Hence why I only want to start SkySource, and I'm only going to focus on my SkySource Entertainment Company. Obviously, I'm only going to focus on my SkySource Entertainment Company. That way, me and my wife are not stressed out. As me and my wife are making more than enough money off the SkySource movies, obviously, and I'm going to focus on growing my SkySource brand. So my main focus is growing. Okay, let's only start SkySource. Let's focus on growing our big ass SkySource Film Entertainment Company. Obviously, that way me and my wife are not stressed out. When we have television, and after each movie, me and my wife will do charity. Obviously, so I'll do a thing once me and my wife finish filming. Once me and my wife finish filming Zanus, we can chill in Vancouver for the posters will be ready for release on Amazon. Obviously, the actors get the $2,000 royalty check. The posters will be available on Amazon for the world to buy. While the world's buying those posters, me and my wife can chill in Vancouver for a bit. Obviously, we can take a good 1 week vacation. So while me and my wife watch post production, we'll do a thing where we watch post production for a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? And after that, we can take a 1 week vacation, come back, watch more post production, and then we can dedicate a good month. A good week towards charity. I'll put a good 10, 15, 20 million towards charity. But for charity, I'm going to do the charity myself, as I'm not a fan of donating money to charity organizations, as you don't know where the money is going. As we live in a very greedy, corrupt world. Last thing you want to do is you don't know, because what celebrities don't understand is when you donate to these charity organizations, you don't know where your money's going, man. As we live in a very greedy, corrupt world, if you donate $20 million, I guarantee you, these charity organizations, you don't know where your money's going. How do you know that the charity organization only put, I don't know. If you donate $20 million, you don't know where your money's going. As we live in a very greedy, corrupt world, obviously. The fact that you guys did this to me, it's not hard to figure out the puzzle pieces. We live in a very corrupt, greedy world. Hence, why I'm not a fan of donating money to charity organizations. I don't mind donating. I don't mind donating like $5,000, $10,000 to a charity organization because that's not that much money. But the moment I donate millions of dollars, I prefer to do the charity myself, obviously. So what I'll do is once me and wife finish filming Zanus, we can dedicate a good week. You know what I'm saying? We can buy a bunch of water, food, and clothing. We release a bunch of planes and we ship the food to another country, obviously. So India, Africa, places in India, Africa, you know what I'm saying? All the poor places, countries around the world. After every movie project, me and my wife can dedicate a good 1 to 2 weeks and do charity. Because I want to give back, obviously. I'm not gonna donate like $100 million. No, man. I'm not gonna be crazy and donate $100 million. No, but I'll donate a good like $20 million after each movie project. I'll donate a good $20 million towards charity around there, which is more than enough, obviously. As you can't help everyone. If I want to help everyone on the world, all my money will be gone, obviously. And you can't help everyone, obviously. There's a saying in this world: you can't help everyone. Hence why what? Hence why I want to do charity after. I'm gonna tell VJ, look, after each movie project, we can take a nice vacation, but I also want to give back and donate. For charity, what I'm gonna focus on for charity is food, clothing, and food, clothing, and food, clothing, and water. That I'm not gonna waste my money putting money into awareness, all that nonsense. No, the moment I see awareness, I stay away from that stuff. I'm gonna focus on food, clothing, and water. Food, clothing, and water. So I'll buy millions of pounds of cans. For $12 million, you can buy a lot of food, man. Buy what? Hundreds of thousands of pounds of food for cans, water, a lot of water, and a lot of clothing. And you hire people to store the food in the planes, and you ship the food to the countries, obviously. So I personally want. I'm gonna tell VJ when me and you do charity, I want to do the charity myself. We make the calls, we do the charity ourselves, obviously. We do the charity ourselves. I'm not a fan of donating money. Like, yeah, the easiest thing to do is just donate money to a charity organization. The problem is I don't know where my money's going, man. As $20 million is a lot of money. I don't know where the money is going. Hence why I'm not a fan of donating money to charity organizations. I prefer to do charity myself. I'm not interested in starting my own charity organization. No, as it becomes the moment you do that, it becomes stressing. You have to focus on that. No, me and my wife can just do the charity ourselves, obviously. Okay, let's take $20 million from our personal account and let's put money into food, clothing, and water. We ship, which is a lot of food. For $20 million, you can buy a lot of food, clothing, and water, and we can help out thousands of people in a poor country, obviously. Which is nice, obviously, as it's good to give back. If you're making billions of dollars, you got to give some of that money back. Hence why I want to do charity. After each movie project, I want to do charity. I want to do charity work, obviously. Me and my wife can dedicate a good. Me and my wife only need to dedicate a good like 1 week and a half to do charity. We fly to a country and we donate all the food, clothing, and water to the poor neighborhoods, obviously, in the country, obviously. We can do charity in America. We can do a lot of poor places in America too. Do charity in America. Do charity in India, Africa. Africa, there's a lot of poor places in Africa, obviously. India, the Philippines, a lot of poor places in the Philippines. The Middle East, poor countries, poor neighborhoods in the Middle East. Me and my wife can do a lot of charity work, obviously. I told you, I'm not a fan of investing money in a bunch of businesses as it becomes crazy and me and my wife will no longer have television. My order's on the way, so I'm going to shut my camera off here for a sec. I'm not a fan. The Uber Eats driver's on the way, so I'll talk for a good minute and I'll shut the camera off. So this video will have like 5 parts, whatever it is. I'm not a fan of investing my money in a bunch of business as it becomes crazy. I want to have tunnel vision. I want to focus on my Sky Source Entertainment brand. As I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of investing my money in a bunch of businesses, obviously. As there's a saying in this world, even though you can make more money, there's a saying in this world, how much money is really enough, man. Once you hit a certain level where you're making a lot of money, there's a saying in this world, how much money is really enough. In other words, even though investing your money in other businesses is good because you might reap a return, most people there's a high chance you're going to lose your money, by the way. But because I have the keys, there's very little risk for me, obviously. But there's a saying in this world, how much money is really enough. Is it worth investing your money in a bunch of stuff, being completely stressed out, risk losing money. Hence why I'm not a fan of investing money in a bunch of businesses, is I'm just gonna focus on SkySource, and that is enough, obviously. Sell my movie, my 4K movies on Amazon. Sell my posters, and that's enough. That's the only income me and my wife will be receiving, as that's more than enough. Me and my wife will make more than enough money. We don't need to invest our money in a bunch of stuff. We do our movies, sell our posters, obviously, sell our 4K movies on Amazon. Me and my wife take a good year off. We start our next movie project. That way, we're not stressed out. And we're not bombarded with a bunch of businesses, and it becomes crazy, man. I'm not. I told you, I'm a simple-minded person. I'm not into that crazy stuff. I'm gonna shut my camera here because I gotta go get my Uber Eats shawarma order. Okay, so I'm gonna shut my camera here for a sec.